Good morning, everybody. I want to, excuse me, I want to follow up with some of the things that I talked about yesterday in regards to blame, in regards to our program. Um, uh, I left out one key thing for me, and that is source or God. I mean, there's a lot of different beliefs and things there. But I know that during some hard times for me, there's been something there that helped comfort me and helped to open doors sometimes that didn't seem to want to open. Um, you know, when we talk about blame, especially with addiction, which is all that I can say or I can speak about, because that's a lot of that's what put me in the place that I'm at today, and has me here now. Uh, so, uh, what does that blame? What does taking responsibility? What does stopping the blame game really mean? What it means is that for me, I had to stop blaming it on a disease. Is it a disease? Is it not a disease? I don't know. But is it an addiction? Is it not an addiction? I don't know. One thing and this is always a touchy subject with lots of people. Uh, you know, um, are there addictive personalities? I do believe so. My personality is addictive. Has an addictive tendency. When I find something that I like that makes me feel a certain way, no matter what that reasoning is behind doing that, uh, I partake in it with vigor, and but that's just me, but at one time or another, back in 1997, if it were only for a few seconds, I made a choice in that moment, and that's the key thing for me, is I made the choice, you know, and then at that point I asked God to help me with it, you know, um, and that does not mean that God is going to do this for me. It, that's not going to happen. To me, it's all about free will choice. That's an inherent gift for all of us on the planet. And when we accept that, when we know that that's the case, and we truly begin to accept these things, uh, then we, or I, began to see the results of my choices. Uh, and then I also began to see the effects uh, of those things on others and things around me. So uh, when I opened up, yesterday a little bit, I forgot about those key things. Um, um, so what does stopping blame and beginning to take full accountability for what your life is at? I have sometimes taken it to the just the exponentially to another place for me. Um, if let's see, how did I begin to stop being a victim? When I stopped drinking, that the thing that happened for me at that one moment in time was the fact that my son at that time was maybe a year and a half old, and my father drank a lot. Was he an alcoholic? Was he? I have no idea. He drank a lot, and he liked to drink, and he passed away when I was 9 years old, maybe eight and a half years old, and so at that perfect moment in time, I was mad about my father dying all those years, and I didn't know that at that particular moment. But at that one particular moment in time, in July of '97, uh, I was my dad, and my son was me, and I saw this pattern recreating itself in my life, and so I said that's got to stop. And at that moment in time, And I want to say that again. It was just that moment that my father, instead of me being angry at him at that time, I realized, what are the odds? This guy gave me a gift that I couldn't have gotten any other way. Some people will say, you're sort of crazy. How does your dad passing away give you a gift? And I started to look at those things and started to look at people that had had an effect on me in my life, and little statements in these things, and things that had made me really angry. And these things were really gifts to me, especially things that were very painful. So it does matter. When we start to take full accountability and full responsibility. It's not something to take lightly for me, you know, until I made a conscious choice to say, this is it. I'm not going to drink anymore. I'm not going to do any drugs anymore. I'm not going to keep living this way. It didn't stop. I asked God to help me, but God will not do it for me. I can't say that enough. If I changed my mind and I chose, whether it's an addiction or a disease, and I want to not put a whole lot of emphasis there, but I want to say that there are lots of different food. There are lots of different theories, and some believe facts. Me, I'm not a person that knows those things. I know myself. And the most important thing is, to me, was that God, once I make a choice, that choice is mine. He could help me to see things differently, but as soon as I make another choice, then that falls back on me. It's not, I believe, it's not God's job to repair me. It's not God's job to correct my thinking. It's not God's job to police me. I'm quite sure that he or she has got a lot going on, and they don't need to try to fix Currie. I think that's my job. So anyway, just wanted to follow up with that, and I want to put this out. And I'm new to the video thing, and new to YouTube, and new to these things. But the main thing for me is I strive every day to discover more about myself, especially things that irritate me. They usually have the most to teach me. So I'm looking forward to sharing myself with you guys, and have a blessed day. And again, I'm truly grateful to be able to do this and not be drunk or stoned or whacked, or whatever you want to call it, dependent upon what path you chose. Your drug of choice. You hear that very often. That's just so ironic. But I do love you guys, and I look forward to chats. And if you got questions, instant message me or PM me, and I'll discuss it, if I can, in Currie's, my view, and not any other beliefs view, not any other program's view. The program is dependent upon how much effort you want to put into it, and it's all about self-discovery for me. So anyway, have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. And always thanks for listening to me ramble sometimes. Have a good day.